Everyone in America should have one of these. What is this? Okay, we're here. All right, recording in progress. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Hello, welcome. Welcome back. For those who don't know, for those who do know, hello. FD Briscoe III and your presidential elect for some years to come. So if you haven't checked out my first introduction video, make sure you go check it out. It might be kind of informative so you get a little likeness of what it is. But if this is your first time seeing this video, it is great. Thank you. Welcome. If it's your second time coming or your third time seeing me, welcome again. I always will welcome you to come and be a part of this, what we are bringing forth for the United States of American people, our people, my people, your people, all people of this country, this great, great country, I must add. I also said, and I will say every time, make sure you have one of these in your home. If you are an American, which if you are United States of America, you should have one of these. Why? Because this is like your book for who you are, to why this country is, what makes this country, how things move. You want this. If you don't have one of these in your home, go get one. If you do, open it up. Read it with me. I also have a Bible in your house, but I'm just saying, for sure you need to have this, as well as you definitely need to have a Bible, a good one, King James, preferably. Okay, so what I do is who I am the president-elect of the people, from the people. And I'm from the people of this United States. That's who made me. That's who I represent. You, the people. Me, my people. Not color, Americans. That's who I represent. Last time I left off on section 2, and I will read section 3 of Article 1. But I would read that preamble first before I go into the next portion. And as I said before, my camera is here, and sometimes I might be looking at the monitor, so pardon me if I'm looking down or up, but I'm not reading a teleprompter. I'm just looking down at the monitor sometimes, so it just happens. I'm a person. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Section 3 of Article 1. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote in the Senate. Immediately after they shall be assembled in the consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year. Of the second class at the expiration of the 4th year, and of the 3rd class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year. If vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. The United States. Okay, boom. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state for which he shall be chosen. So you got to be in that state. You can't just not be living in that state, is what it's saying. You got to be at least a citizen of the United States for 9 years. Basically, we vetting you out. And you got to be at the age of 30. So you could be here, you could start. So that's saying everybody who come to this country at 20 and they become a citizen in 29, been 9 years a citizen, they become a citizen at 29, they cannot run for office until they are 38. Is what they're saying. Not just because of the 30 mark, because you got to be 9 years a citizen. So you become a citizen, then you get 9 years a citizen, and then after the 9 years a citizen, you can run for office. That's what makes this country great. You could come from another country, put some time in, become a citizen here, put that time in as a citizen, and you can be a congressman. That's why we have all these dignitaries and congressmen of all kinds of ethnicities because of that. Think about the greatness of that. It doesn't matter if you It doesn't matter. You can still do it if you do that process. It's a beautiful process. Understand that. Okay. The Vice President of the United States shall be the President of the Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. So we're not gonna go all the way in class of learning this, because this is why y'all should understand what it is, and hopefully y'all took history lessons because they teach it. So anyway, what that's basically saying that the vice president heads the Senate, and on the way that he has a vote, if it's a 50-50 split in the Senate, that his vote will be the vote to break it. So it's an important role for the vice president. Very important role. It's not favoritism, but these days they've been making it favoritism. Okay. Back to some questions that I've had. See who sent them. Okay. Some people sending in questions on the cell for this, which is great. If you saw the first video, I spoke with these people were my first donors, which was thank you and thank you. You all can be donors as well. Hit the link that's down there that's provided so you could donate. I'll give more information coming along. I'll give more information coming along that will give you opportunity to see why and how your money is appreciated, appropriated, and utilized for the candidacy of the United States for me to become your president, if you will. And this is Jake and Sherry. And Jake and Sherry question was, because they sent in some great questions. And thank you again, Jake and Sherry. What experiences have you had that have helped you deeply understand the mindset and values of another culture? What experiences have you had that have helped you deeply understand the mindset and values of another culture? Okay. I said this before, I might say it a couple of times while I'm doing these, that I may be asking the questions and restating the question over so I could be able to properly address the question. So if I readdress the question in my mind or I readdress it outwardly, I'm not looking for an answer to try to skate through. I want to make sure that I'm answering and hearing what the person's question is to adequately deliver a response that can be efficient for what they needed or why they asked the question. So, what experience have you had that have helped you deeply understand the mindset and values of another culture? I've traveled. I've traveled this country from East Coast to West Coast, from the South. So we see a lot of different people, and I've learned a lot about people and cultures in time. I had a good friend named Gabriel when I was in the fifth grade. Good friend. In fact, it was two Gabriels. Shout out to both of you Gabriels. That if y'all remember seeing me, y'all is like, is that him? That's me. So Gabriel, I can't say your last name. I don't want to just be blasting you out there, but Gabriel A. And I forgot the other Gabriel last name, but Gabriel A. You know who I'm talking about. So we was in the fifth grade. It was a predominantly Hispanic culture where we stayed at that moment, and me and Gabriel clicked. You know, he was a I guess at that time you would say Mexican. Say family was straight from Mexico. I don't know if he was born here or not. I met him. He was a kid, so I can't really recall that identifying aspect. But we're gonna have to say they was Mexicans, not so much Hispanics. So that was my first introduction to someone outside of my family because my uncle, my aunt Margaret was a Mexican, and so I had Mexicans in my family, and he had kids with her, and we just had that. So as that wasn't my first like understanding of Mexicans or who they are wasn't because I had Amy that was. But as far as being outside into the communities and being around a family that's not of my family and actually getting a chance to understand and the culture of Mexicans, I was introduced to cactus. And so Gabriel grandfather, I hope he finally rested his soul, maybe. He was like, hey, you want to eat with us? And I was like, you know, because, you know, in the black culture, we have, you know, we eat chicken and broccoli, but they had chicken and cactus. And I was like, he said, okay, go pull off the cactus. So Gabriel went and pulled the cactus off the tree, brought it in. They skinned the cactus, and I'm just sitting here looking like, wow, we're finna eat this cactus, like the cactus that just came off the tree. Like you know, you hear cactus and you watch cartoons, there's usually be like they sticking you or something, right? But so I'm like, wow, and he cooked it and he put it and he had cheese and and I ate it for the first, you know, I ate it. He was like, I ate it and I was like, wow. So that opened me up to culture that many people have different ways of eating. So of course food can kind of connect people, right? So that's why I'm answering your question is that food tells you a lot about a culture. And when I learned that, I started to understand that there are different people than just black and white. And though I knew about my aunties and all that, but she was around black, so it was like she was black, but she was Mexican. So, you know, when you're a kid. But to actually understand that cultures cook differently. And through the food, that's really defines that culture, the food. Like when you think of an American culture from other places, they think of hot dogs or something, right? Because it's kind of like something, you know, we done as Americans, hamburgers, hot dogs. That's kind of us fried chicken. You know, we done that. Soul food. That's our culture in America. So when people come to this country from other countries, they're looking for that which defines us, which is in our food. So when I understood that people cook differently, which means that cooking is a form of love. So when you're cooking because you want this person to be nourishment, and nourishment is is a form of love. You want the best for that person. So the people that cook your food, they want you to taste the love that they have for them. And so most of the times through the food, that you can actually understand how the culture love one another. What are they doing with the food? How do they take the time to cultivate it? How do they take little of anything and still make it a big meal for someone? And what is that taste within that? What is that love that you hear in that food that you're eating for that culture? So once I understood that, if you say deeply, that's what made me go deep, because it say help me deeply understand. It's through the way people prepare their food for their culture. And once you understood that, that's how they eat, that's how they move, that's how they nourish themselves to do whatever you see them doing. And that's like, wow. And when I learned that as in the fifth grade, I opened my mind up to a whole nother concept that people eat different. And so I eventually started to meet people that were Italians, Irishmen, um, oh, definitely my African people from Africa, Liberia, Cameroon. Uh, what's the other one? What I that my people? I don't. I know some Nigerians, but I really don't. I wasn't really calling. I didn't know them like that, but definitely Cameroons and Liberians, right? Um, so them type people, they all had a different culture. My Jamaican culture. When I learned about the Jamaican cuisine, I started to understand the Jamaican people more. You know, that from that point, I started to learn. So that's why I eat at Indian restaurants, Mediterranean restaurants, Italian restaurants, because you know Italians are known for their pasta, for their and how they put the flavoring in their pasta, and how they just have and wine and what they do to it. So I learned about that's how it helped me understand people. So that's how, if I can say I answered your question enough, that's how I understood the mindset of people by what they cook. And it could go a little more in another way, but I think that's really how I deeply understood it, was through the cooking. Okay. Whoa. Woo-hoo-wee. I tell you, these questions are for real. So let me go ahead and answer this question. Okay, Jake and Sherry, they my people. So I can't wait till you all to hear some other people that actually send in some questions for me. What underlying values or ethical beliefs have led you to your current political beliefs? What underlying values or ethical beliefs that have led you to your current political beliefs? Huh. See, they watched my first interview and they were my first donors. So I've sparked something in them that allowed them to say, is he that one? Can he be that one to lead us to this new area to make sure our country get back on the country that we need to make sure we don't go into the depths and the pits of nothingness? And so I must say, my underlying values is my core beliefs in God. And